Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Whew, well, I thought I'd go live today. I was just going to do a video, but then I thought, well, why not? You know, get out of my head. Just get into the flow of things. Sometimes the mental body just doesn't shut down. It just wants to spin with the what if scenario. It's just a process. What was I laughing at? So I was laughing because I had my eyes closed. As I mentioned, I was in my head, and I was thinking of a scenario or a circumstance that might be a solution that maybe wasn't the best one, and I was kind of laughing. Temperance. Sometimes we got to think of the things that aren't so savory just so that we can decide that it shouldn't occur. What can I say? Well, everybody, it's been very, very interesting. There's a lot of shifting going on. There's a lot of these invisible ones warning, to be careful of what is being said, particularly those son of I guess we have issues. So, planetary circumstance. What's happening in the world? We got some folks that are being discovered. They don't mind us to speak honestly and authentically, or truthfully, transparently, whatever it is that Spirit Divine is giving us. And there's a big transition happening. Apparently, there's some big. It doesn't matter, dilly dilly, willy nilly dilly. All right, so in the central energy, we got Eight of Swords in the reverse. There's freedom and release. Now, what's going on here? So there was like a separation to survive. You know, you got the higher self, the dream self, and then you've got your flesh self, right? That's housing it. And it seems that the higher was kind of like bound, right? And then the spirit, which was separated from the psyche, was over there in dreamland somewhere, getting Agent Smith by a bunch of people traveling up and down your freaking Jacob's ladder, right? And they were having a great, grand old time. But now, many of them lost their ladder and they can't get anywhere. And those that were there, they've been seen to be an actress or an actor. They can't produce the energy that they've been masquerading as because they got kicked off. They can't siphon it. And it's like, whoa, who are you? So we got a release and freedom. King of Cups is in the challenge position. Anyway, what I was saying was with the, and we've been here for a long, long time, and our psyche has been messed with for a long, long time. And there was a great separation in order to survive, I guess. I don't know who was surviving, the siphoners or those who actually separated so they could try to save their freaking angel or their soul or whatever. So Five of Pentacles here is in the subconscious. Hardship. In the recent past. Well, this came out, but then it slid into the reverse. So that would be Six of Cups in the reverse. Naivety. That's the problem. Freaking naivety. You know, they wipe your mind and then they make you restart as a baby and you got to learn everything all over again. You always step into a new state of naivety. And while somebody else is out there climbing up and down your ladder, living your spiritual identity, it's really wonderful. So we got naivety. Maybe you're not going to do the past again. Maybe somebody stuck in the past. Somebody neglected you in the past. You're not going to go back. You didn't realize what they were all about. We got the Chariot. So there's forward movement. So yeah, you're free. You're free of this. You were naive in the past. People used you, abused you, and you kept forgiving them and turning the other damn cheek. You're free of it because that they were giving you nothing. They abandoned you. Every time you gave naively, they would never repay or bail you out if you needed somebody. So you're leaving that behind. And with this thing, with the split, it's like now all of a sudden the curse has been broken. The Queen of Heaven has been freed. The Holy Spirit, grace, is back in her position. And you got all these nasties out there running around trying to hex, curse, and reel it back in, right? It's really incredible. So in the near future, the Wheel of Fortune. So the wheel is turning. The only one who has ever spoken with all authority, and when he speaks, he rumbles through you, and it's like, you want to leave your body because it's so damn scary. But anyway, he said the need for vengeance is in the history and that everybody's going to get what they deserve. It's grape kombucha. We got the Queen of Pentacles here. The lens is being looked through. In the environment. Whoa. We got the Lovers in the reverse. Detachment, separation. Lack of trust. Hopes and fears. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. So somebody missed their opportunity. No wonder they're being so cantankerous. They didn't get what they were looking for. The greedy people. They were not able to get a love connection. They were not able to plug in and recharge their electric car or whatever. And empty out your freaking rainbow chakra covenant that you have with God. And they're mad. They're on here being all kinds of mad, aren't they? Oh, they're mad. Because you got the Nine of Pentacles. And it's just you and your hawk. You're getting your life a luxury. They didn't want it. They're still very angry. They're cursing, hexing, plotting, planning on how to come to your 3D space and do a thing. These guys are so angry, and they're like, be careful of what you say, because they're saying the government and all that. Just they gotta stop you any way that they can. But you're a master, star, empress. And you're out there spilling the beans on the truth. So you're out there speaking truth, empress. You're the master, you're a star, you're a healer, a rejuvenator. These people are still talking to this curator about he's trying to explain to them why he deserves to harvest your soul. They're so desperate to eat you and become just like you by consuming your identity and your energy and all of that. And these nasty men are out there, and they're cursing, hexing, effing, and flinging this nasty energy everywhere, trying to get in some of that. They want to get into this, the mastery of the star, the one who's actually put in hard work to become what she is, the empress. And you got all these others out there. Man. She's very charitable here. She's sharing with somebody. She was very charitable, and they betrayed her in a bad, bad way. So now there's a homecoming here. And somebody's disappointed because they have failed in their deception against the Empress. And they're having nightmares. They're having nightmares because the reward is going to her for all of the illusions that they were casting over her mind and over her love itself. They aren't going to touch her Nine of Cups or her Ace of Cups. They will not touch it. The Hierophant is here to make certain of it. Well, it's amazing how many people hear things about me, but they don't know me or anything. It's like wild. Somebody said today was my birthday. Isn't that odd? That's absolutely not true. Fed up? Fed up. You're fed up, so you're free. You got Eight of Swords in the reverse. Confident. And you've got clarity here, and you're moving courageously. You are free of this stupid, reckless sex love affair. You've got clarity over reckless sex, and you're done with it. You're releasing it. You're free of it. So I guess maybe that is this realm's karmic lesson. One of them. One of the biggest and most profound karmic lessons that we could go through in this realm is reckless sex. Irresponsible management of one's own sacred essence. For the fun of it. When we're actually creators, you know? Meant to be serious and purposeful with it. King of Cups is here in the challenge position. Somebody may have compassion for you. Somebody may want a family with you. King of Cups family. There's a King of Cups who wants a family. You're free. But we got hardship here. You're free of the reckless sex hardship. And that's what the thing was. See, with all of this reckless sex, they were plugging into the rainbow covenant of high vibing, very light-filled people. And they were plugging in with their electric charging wand, and they were sucking up the rainbow chakra covenant value. I don't know how they do that. I'm not a magician or a incubus or a sorceress or succubus or none of that. I'm not that, but I know that they're doing that. So hardship and scarcity, abandonment, they abandoned you. So that's what they would do. They'd come in, plug in, drain the value of the rainbow chakra covenant that was with source, and then they would go live a happy little life while you were left here in poverty without a husband or a wife or anybody to help you. Losing sleep. Somebody's worried. Somebody abandoned you. They're worried. Whoever this reckless sex person is. We got Six of Cups in the reverse. You're not going to repeat the past. We got naivety. Well, anybody who thinks they're going to drain the chakra system of this temple probably has protectors they have to deal with. I just wouldn't recommend it. Blocked. So yeah, you're not going to repeat the past. You were naive in the past. You kept forgiving, turning the other cheek, and now they're blocked. Those who neglected you are blocked, and you've got the Chariot here. You're moving forward. You're like, I'm done, man. There's no reason. Look, King of Cups is here. Is the challenge. The King of Cups wants a family. He's free of this reckless sex and this stupid hardship that comes from it. They're draining the value out of the rainbow covenant, that God gave, and then they're just running around being little whores, spending all of the God's wealth. Shady. So we got the Chariot and shady mask wearer. So what? You got a victory over the shady mask wearer. You have control over the shady mask wearer. We got the Wheel of Fortune. The wheel has turned. It's in the upright. Spiritual gifts. So you could be gaining additional gifts, or maybe you've passed an initiation. You're going into a new cycle. There could be some kind of a... in the previous chapter, we had people trying to tear the mind down, the communication system down, to absorb as much as they could from the covenant as possible to be that, right? But now it's like the separation is turning into what feels like a separation. It's more like the curse has been broken, and so everything kind of came apart. And now there's this reunification and a reintroduction of all parts of self that had been kind of bound in this area here, but isn't anymore. Queen of Pentacles is here, resourceful, abundant, generous. Getting bad news. Somebody's getting bad news. Your prosperity is bad news for somebody. Queen of Pentacles is getting bad news. We got the Lovers in the reverse. There's an imbalance. Somebody's getting detached. They're breaking up. we got police station in the reverse. Imbalance. Detachment. Police station in the reverse. Arguments. What? The police don't want to get involved? There's a conflict here. The police aren't involved. The police aren't working with them. Lack of trust. Ace of Pentacles reversed. Missed opportunity. Greed. Insecurity. I heard these ones talking about he being a con artist. Somebody's undergoing as an ego death. They're in a downward spiral, so they miss their opportunity. They're suffering a financial loss. They're having a spiritual crisis because the queen bee is a boss bitch. And she's secure and focused on her career, which is the Nine of Pentacles, a life of luxury, and she's using it properly. The wheel is turning. She's got these spiritual gifts. She is necessary as a healer, as a stabilizer. She's the Empress, a master, star. Divine Masculine. Divine Masculine is there. Love messages. Triangular, those third wheel enemies are running. They might be sending a love message. Pop the question because of how many, they asked people to get contracts in the past and what they did with it. And God is fed up with these people. Reject, freaking eject. These people that are spying on you or portraying themselves as you from a secret account are not happy because they're getting rejected, and they're going to go through cycles of round and round and round, and they're having massive regrets for loving to hate you. It was a secret. They've been doing love spells on you. They hate you, but they've been doing love spells on you, pretending that they love you, just so they could try to destroy you and siphon the wealth out of your rainbow covenant that you hold with God. And now there's funerals here. Because they were happy single, but that's how they got their wealth. They had to drain the rainbow covenant of a star, of a high value Emperor, Empress, King, Queen, shiny being, sun and star. And now there's those who are sex addicted are getting shocking news. They have drained out a lot of wealth from the rainbow covenant with God. These fake, reckless sex plug in and recharge their bank account by draining the covenant that the person is holding with God, and then they turn around, gaslighting, love bombing, getting a plug in, draining the account, and then living life while you suffer in this energy here. So that's how they've been doing it. They've been draining the freaking bank account, the covenant that God has with these stars, these earth angels. And then they've been telling everybody that they're dime a dozen. Yeah, there's serious legal matters with this. And those who are illuminated and have shared the truth about what's going on are getting a new GPS. You're getting a new path. It's going to be difficult because, it's been thousands of years that they've been feeding on the covenant like this. It's in God's hands. It was God's wealth. Those angels, those beings that God had covenant with, chosen covenant with, These ones were plugging in and draining the covenant, breaking the heart, and then stepping into the spiritual authority or whatever as a spiritual identity, and then flip-flopping around having a great old time. Siphoning people, sacrificing people in these upper dimensional spaces, consuming them, having sex with them, siphoning the rainbow covenant and the wealth that it provided the person in whatever dimensional space they were in. That's God's bank account. Somebody that you had married left you single for a long time. They'd come in early, gaslight bomb you as a child or a young person. They'd gain a marriage contract to deflower you, empty the rainbow covenant with God, and then kick you to the curb, abandon you, and leave you here with nothing, losing sleep because they were dumping all of this nastiness into you. Isn't that just great? Reckless sex is so good. And you're turning your back on them. It's like, man, you're not letting those people plug in, and they're feeling like shit, and they're under pressure because they need to. This is how they did it. This is how they had a life of comfort, by siphoning the love child, the divine feminines, the empresses, the high priestesses and such. Somebody's going to be learning their karmic lesson now. That wasn't a good idea, because it's been discovered that they have been draining the wealth of the covenant that God has with his chosen ones. And then they've been stepping in as that spiritual identity, calling themselves that. There's going to be some serious stuff happening. There's a lot of chaos going on, and you can see it from the beginning, when this stream first started. There were some, nasties that came out. Oh, they're out there in telepathy land being so nasty, just like they are here. And it's just so weird. These people, masculines, that just did not want to raise the bar. They weren't interested in adding value to the soul when they could just plug into you and freaking drain it out of your your rainbow covenant with God. They could just hold themselves a real low bar. All they had to do is plug in and charge up, and leave you the bare minimum. You're no longer accepting scarcity. They have let go, or they have to let go. Let go already. So they have to let go because you're no longer accepting scarcity. This stuff is just, that's all it was. It was like the electric car crap, plug in and then literally suck out the covenant's wealth, and then let somebody else step in as the identity. This is why reckless sex is not wise. You lose your status as a child of God because you got some freaking Jezebel out there freaking dressing up in the freaking energy. They step into the covenant. These triangular people, they step into the covenant with this reckless sex. And once they drain the wealth of the covenant, then they step in as the spiritual identity, and they spend the money. They have fancy clothes, and then they have reckless sex with these other people that are even in a higher dimensional space. It's all a great freaking wealth transfer system. So in the challenge position, we have the King of Cups and family. Heartbreak. So what, is there a King of Cups that has, the King of Cups family is heartbroken? Because I heard the other day somebody say, it's my livelihood. And they were told, according to the curator, I was hearing him talk, that their business had been built on the sacrificed souls of innocents. And so they were there pretending to serve the community, but they were sacrificing the souls of innocents within the community in order to fuel their business and make certain that it was staying afloat. So somebody who has to feed on the community in such a way in order to have a livelihood, so they take the lives of others in order to provide for themselves a livelihood in the community that they're robbing soul value from. It's just so freaking ridiculous, man. So there's a King of Cups whose family is heartbroken. We've got Five of Pentacles, a hardship, material loss, some kind of an illness or poverty, an abandonment. They abandoned you. You're free of this reckless sex tyrant. You're no longer accepting scarcity and you're no longer getting it. They have to let go. King of Cups with his family, they're very upset because what? They were siphoning off of your covenant. We got the Five of Pentacles here. Poverty, they abandoned you. They left you here losing sleep. Maybe they are losing sleep because they're a fake version of you, a glow up that's been dressing in your covenant. Whoever this King of Cups is has a family. They went and plugged in with this reckless sex to somebody and downloaded the covenant and all the spiritual gifts and the wealth that go along with that. And you got this person's having a reality check. The fake version of you is losing sleep. They're having a reality check. And you know what else they're saying? Be careful of what you say. Be careful of what you say. They're like, don't tell. Don't tell. There's no reason. God already knows. He already knows who the actresses and the actors are. So Six of Cups in the reverse. Somebody's stuck in the past. You're not living the past over. They're blocked. They did it sober, and everything that they did is coming back on them. They have to take responsibility for what they've done. They have to grow up. We've got the Chariot here. So you've got a victory over the shady mask wearer that left you alone. They left you alone. The blunt truth is, the clarity is, this shady mask wearer, King of Cups, plugged in, drained the covenant. And that's what these guys are doing. The way they go out there and have these affairs and stuff, what they're doing is they're downloading the value of other people's rainbow covenant. And then they're calling them prostitutes, and then they're convicting them for another recycle. This is such a bad scam. They download everything and they don't even share like snacks. They want you to eat bugs. The wheel is turning. These are your gifts. You may be getting additional gifts. The devil, it will be held accountable. They're being exposed. Somebody has recently been called a, what do they call him? I said it earlier. Anyway, the devil's being exposed as some kind of bloke that just goes out there and blows hot air. Ew. Well, she needs medicine. Okay, you know what? I've been listening to this for so long. There's a sick care system in place. Within this sick care system are charts and levels and statuses and grades. And everybody fits into this little chart somewhere in this sick care system. And most people in the United States have been labeled sick. And they're on some kind of a medicine that they're told they need. And they're convinced that it's true, that everybody is truly sick, just like they say. Therefore, they earned their reward. They get to harvest whoever that is. And the thing is that just because their sick care system has developed some kind of a chart that says people are sick, doesn't mean that people are actually sick. Most people are just infested with parasites and having various symptoms. So the devil's being exposed. They are being held accountable. You're burning it. You were naive in the past, and you're not going to do that anymore. You're blocking them. These people are making excuses, being vile with their words. They are going to have to receive what it is they gave. We got retrograde and we've got reciprocity. They left you alone. They downloaded your rainbow covenant wealth by deflowering you. They'd send somebody in when you were a virgin to kind of like deflower you. Take your freaking flower and the covenant wealth and identity as well. They've been having a field day, man. They will be held accountable because you're putting it in the fire. You're done. You're done with the deception. Somebody's done with the deception. You're releasing it. Queen of Pentacles, she's like getting bad news. She's like, oh no, what do you mean? What do you mean I can't go have any more sex with people? No. So bad news, they're looking for advice, professional situationship advice. Bad news, some feminines out there hollering about not talking about this stuff. But dots don't mean devotion. God's reading energy right now. And there's a lot of devils out there that have been plugging in with this reckless sex and draining the value of the covenant that God has with an earth angel or a star or an empress or whatever. I'm going to marry you, baby. Oh, we're going to have kids and everything. And then it's like, the stories that happen with that. So there's no devotion. So they're seeking professional advice. This Queen of Pentacles, they're getting really bad news. No more lovers. If they don't want to get arrested, they have to stop plugging into people's chakra system, this rainbow covenant that they don't have. So some of these people, they don't have a rainbow covenant, but they have to plug into somebody who does in order to download the value of the rainbow covenant and then step into the spiritual astral projected identity, right? And Agent Smith people there as you're sleeping, getting ready for work the next day. Yeah, so we got the lovers in the reverse. They're being detached. They're being separated from these things. We've got police station in the reverse. If they don't want to be arrested, these people that held the bar very, very low. We don't trust the chaos that they bring. They're not high vibrational people. They feed on those who are by plugging in, like I said, and downloading the value of that covenant that they themselves have not earned. You're liberated from this crap. There's arguments, there's conflict, there's separation. Nobody wants to deal with that. The police aren't helping them. What, they want the police to go arrest somebody to falsify freaking whatever to get somebody arrested, but it's in the reverse. We got expectations, very, very low self-value, and they're just running around freaking causing chaos everywhere, and we're being liberated from that, and they're freaking out. Why? Because honestly, the real miracle is you made it out alive barely. You have ascended. You have survived. I like to call you a victor, but I know for a fact there are very, very scary entities out there that, one wrong move and your soul is lunch. But you made it out. And guess what, honey? Nobody's coming to steal your spotlight either. You two are together here and people are freaking out. The other night, I heard in the car, there's somebody out there ascending. Man, they want to slap people so freaking hard. And they're like, step away, step away. They're not for you. They're not for you. And they're just like out there trying to separate these two so badly. It's wild, man. But the thing is that there's a rainbow covenant here and there's a rainbow covenant here. And now these two covenants are coming together as one covenant. And these people are messed up in the head because there will be no more of this low vibrational entity plugging into somebody who has covenant with God and then draining that covenant's value and the identity and then dressing up some Jezebel in it, having a great time on God's bank account. And as I mentioned, you made it out barely. These people have torn up the mental body of the populace in a bad way with this stupid proxy war for consciousness and energy. It's wild. So don't beat yourself up too bad if you find yourself uncomfortable with your identity right now. These people have been walking in your identity for thousands of years and you're coming back online. They can no longer, the fake version of you, they can no longer walk in your identity. So the spiritual gifts belong to you. They were always yours, but they had their boyfriend or their husband or whatever went and found a divine feminine that had a beautiful value and they plugged into it and drained it. That's how they get wealthy, man. It's gross. But God sees clearly. They're like, refresh, refresh. Oh no. They're freaking out about you two. They are flipping out. They can't take your glow, hun. And your king or whoever he is barely made it out alive. You guys are alive. You're together here in the environment. Oh, they're mad. They can't get you arrested. The police won't work with them because they're con artists. They're low vibrational wizards, sorcerers, whatever, mind effers, Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah. Greedy. And they're unstable. They're unstable. They're losing their mind because everything that they did to the Queen Bee is coming back. She's a boss bitch. You got this fake version of this Queen Bee Empress star. And it could very well be a masculine. This King of Cups. Losing his bejeezies or whatever, his beans, his freaking marbles are falling out. Why? Because you're sitting here with your divine masculine. About ready to have a life of luxury. They're throwing chaos and stuff into the mind. And like I mentioned, well, I don't know if the video is uploaded. They seem to put a halt on it. I don't know that it ever will. It's been spinning at like 2 minutes or whatever for 3 days or something. Anyhow, this could be Horus. I mean, Horus could be your guide. I mean, maybe there was an offering. Maybe this is your, I don't know, protector. But you're there with divine masculine and you're coming into some abundance and who knows what's going on. And everybody's like, be careful, Queen Bee, be careful, Queen Bee, because you still have devils right there in the near future being held accountable. And they're real calm. They're real calm, right? And you're like, let go. And Queen Bee, not everyone gets a ticket to your next season. You're allowed to outgrow people, and they're trying so desperately to make chaos in your mind. And you may be flowing with it because, you know, to flow with it is to grow with it, to evolve with it, right? And that's where a lot of people get confused. I think telepathically. They look at somebody who's got chaos being pushed in or storming in their mental body, and they assume that the person is insane or unstable or doing something that's causing it to themselves. And they never look into the energies that are pushing in, pushing in, pushing in. Instead, they're consuming the illusion, and then they add into it their own stupid shit that they don't want to carry anymore because the person's already down and out, right? Ew, well, there's a garbage can. Let me go put it there. Yeah, well, the problem is it was a freaking empress, a star, freaking Queen Bee. And now she stopped giving spiritual credit to idiots. She's no longer naive. She's no longer going to be, oh, you think I'm pretty? Oh, no. Compliments don't mean shit anymore. We know our own value. We don't need to hear it out of the mouth of some freaking devil waiting to plug in with his freaking charging unit and download our covenant value. Sorry, I just got fired up. I'm not here to scam anybody. You know, if this is not your channel, it's okay to just move on. You don't have to spread your immature energy around anywhere. Just because your freaking storyline flopped and you can't rewrite it now. And you don't get a freaking ticket into the Queen Bee's territory. There's a detachment. Endings and closure. Divine masculine is bringing endings and closure. Your ex is not an unfinished project. Let go. You have to let go. You're starting to piss everybody off really bad, man. It's been 6,000 years since you banished the Queen Bee, a-hole. What do you got to cry about, you sissy? You had 6,000 years of freaking pleasure plugging into every covenant, saying you owned every freaking angel's merchandise. He owned God's bank account is what he was saying. And now he's getting deleted. Freaking con artist, gigolo. Fucking every covenant that God ever gave a chosen one. What an asshole. Excuse my French. That's how they do it. Those who don't have a rainbow covenant plug in with their charging unit and extract the value of the covenant from the rainbow chakra of their partner, whatever. And then they step into the astral, the upper dimensional spiritual space as the identity. And while the true person is left down here in scarcity. And honey, you're a soprano. You're way up there. And you had this low-life faker, this actress, which, by the way, she got busted. She's probably got all kinds of confessions to make. And I heard she is going to suffer greatly for what she did to the United States. The people, the life, the wealth. They were robbing Gob's bank account, the Rainbow Covenant. I can't believe this curator is still talking, to be quite honest. He just needs to be, he must be an Agent Smith. He must either, there's multiple clones that he can just walk in and out of or whatever, or he's just an Agent Smith that's got a lot of people under his agreement that he could just come in and out of, step in and out of. Honestly, I think that's why a lot of these things, you know, these people that get undone, I think it's because of that. Stepping into somebody's shoes real quick to do a thing and then stepping out. So they have to let go. You're making your move. You're free of the reckless sex bullshit artistry. You're no longer accepting scarcity. They have to let go. You're making your move. You're making your move. King of Cups family is crying. They're in a whole lot of drama right now. Heartbreak is not Broadway ready. Joy. They're crying because you're happy. They don't want anybody to know that they're heartbroken over you, but they are. They're crying. We got Five of Pentacles. There's abandonment. They abandoned you. They abandoned. That's what they did. They've been, God's pissed, man. That has nothing to do with the women that and the men that were brutalized in this way. This is God's covenant that they were stepping into and violating in these. Oh man, there's some major stuff about, oh boy. You know, and they were stealing from God's rainbow covenant that they were too low vibrational to earn. And they've been down here keeping us under this line of this low, very low, brutal survival kind of necessary thing. And they've been spending God's wealth from the covenant that he has had with these high vibrational star empress freaking queen bees, man. Oh, we got patience. Somebody's messed up. Somebody's having a reality check. They're getting rejected. You were very patient. You dotted all your I's. You crossed all your T's. You took the time to balance, to bring temperance. And it's difficult because when you're dealing, man, when you're dealing with South Node, it can get ugly inside the head, especially when you got technical geeks out there pushing in their freaking radio programs on you. You got to not only deal with your own, it's like they throw you into a sense of instability just to see how you manage it. And it's difficult, but because it's not just your stuff. It's not just your stuff that you're balancing out. And your stuff that you're balancing out would never have been in this thing if that thing had never plugged in. Downloaded their little devil fire and then extracted the covenant of the rainbow. So those who neglected you, they're being blocked. They're going to get stuck in the past. You were naive. Those who stuck you, or who had you stuck in the past and blocked you, they did it soberly. They have to accept responsibility for shutting you out like that, for hurting you the way that they did, for wearing your identity, for spending God's covenant. They were not qualified or given the covenant, and they've been there for thousands of years, misleading everybody. This person is going to suffer so bad for what they did to the United States with God's covenant that she did not earn. It was not given to her. She's in a world of hurt right now. I do not know, but it's going to be bad. And there's nothing that they can do, and no threats they can say that is going to call God off. All the curses have been broken. Those races and species that they thought they had caused a distinct extinction for. Man. I don't know. It's been 6,000 years. I'm not sure of how many were thought to be extinct, but they're back. They're coming back. They're getting their chance because they were not supposed to be taken out like this, man. We got balance. They have to accept responsibility for what they've done. Or maybe you were naive and stuck in the past, and now those people are going to get blocked. They did it. They're making excuses. It's like, oh no. They said that leaving you there, it worked. That having you trapped and drawing off of you the way that they were brought balance to their lack. It worked. They didn't find anything wrong with brutalizing you and stealing from you and leaving you alone while wearing your identity and traveling back and forth as though they were the chosen daughter of God in the covenant that they pretended to be given. There's so much serious wrong here. I cannot imagine being this person that pretended to be a daughter of the Most High, wearing the identity of a high value soprano, upper dimensional identity, while torturing people here, while blaming the queen bee for actually doing these things because they were wearing the identity. But the queen bee is free. The curse has been broken. The illusions are seen clearly. Threats don't matter. No matter what happens, God's gonna, it's in God's hands. So we got the Chariot. We got victory over the shady mask wearers who siphoned everything from you and left you stranded. You've received clarity, and the blunt truth is they're being rejected. You're setting up some boundaries, and things are going to be made fair. They took everything from you. They took the whole entire value of your covenant and your identity and presented themselves to the Father as you, Queen Bee, while they left you stranded, shipwrecked, driving your chariot to and fro, making you pay for everything they and their friends and who knows else. The wheel is turning. These are your spiritual gifts. We got a devil here. They're being exposed. They're a freaking con artist. And they're being held accountable. Crystals cannot replace common sense, and they have none. They got magic tricks. They got these little manipulations. That's all they got. And they're having to grow up and accept responsibility for what they've done. Because you are burning the hoodie and keeping the lessons. You're like, I'm done with this. That's memory. The whole memory is going in the fire. Guess what? I'm an expert at short-term memory. That's going in the fire. It's written down, already recorded. It just needs to go on the shelf, right? Make room for new memories. You're being empowered. You're releasing it. Bam, done. Does she meditate? Does she meditate? Does she meditate? Fuck. Is she source connected? Is she upper dimensional? Oh, she's a Libra? Oh, they're so excited about gaining, plugging in and downloading your covenant and wearing it. That's what it's about. It's more about the covenant that you have with God than it is the sexual energy. Although once they claim the covenant, tag it, claim it, wear it, then they can do whatever they want with the energy. They can put all the nasty little Jezebel's orgy energy into you and then say that that is you while you screw up their reputation in the covenant. And then they've been leaving you here in this disaster for a long time, wearing your identity, stealing your honor forever, playing this act. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. It's been 6,000 years of torture. Torture is death. Do you know, and I was just thinking, because they did this woman 17 times as an infant, like a newly born infant, these men. And you know what they do in there? I mean, it's all out there. Many of them get together. And, you know, it's like from you know, hip to freaking throat is what these guys do. And it's nasty. Hundreds of them. And this is what they've been doing. They entirely strip the freaking covenant of the rainbow. It's so bad. And they did it 17 times. I mean, what did they think? They were going to completely annihilate the covenant, the rainbow itself? They thought they just completely shattered and destroyed the rainbow when she was buried in this freaking nasty mess, and that she would never, ever, ever come back, and God would never, ever, ever see her. It's happened for 6,000 years, and now it's finally over. The sleep is over. This religious facade, everything that they have told anybody about God is like, it's just fleeting, man. It's like Queen of Pentacles has a problem. She's getting bad news. She's seeking professional situationship advice because dots don't mean devotion. She was never devoted to anybody. It was always just reading energy, siphoning energy, making a harvest. Gatekeepers at the gate. They were getting these people at the gate, and then they were taking it. Oh, you got a nice, lovely covenant there, darling. Oh, let me shatter your heart and step in with it. The lovers are in the reverse. They're getting, everybody's breaking up. They're not being invited to step in to this intimate union. We've got police station in the reverse. You're not getting arrested. If they don't want to get arrested, these low people, I don't know what's happening. They're not able to arrest you. They weren't able to get you arrested. The cops don't want to work with them. They're seen as a copycat con artist. The police won't work with them. There's a separation. There's conflict. They can't go plug into anybody. This prostitution worldwide. That's what it's like. Come on, man. So you're being liberated from chaos from these low-value masculines and feminines that have been plugging into high-value souls with this beautiful freaking love and covenant and special authority that God has granted. And through this reckless sex, they've been draining the value and the identity and stepping in spiritually as that and operating from an upper dimensional space fraudulently. in a covenant that they had not been given. Congratulations, honey. You and your man made it out just in the nick of time. Barely. Barely. They messed you up real good because they thought they were going to have you down for the count again and that they were going to get eternity, utopia built on your suffering. We got the mind. You had to rebuild your mind. You're the dreamer. You're the creator, the creatress, the generator of original thought. Those things that had never been thought of before. They tried to sear it, S-E-A-R it, out of your mind over and over and over again. They wanted everybody to see you as crazy. And, you know, this does look a little out there, doesn't it? But you know what those are hanging from this? Those are like ribbons, like awards. You've got a fabulous imagination. The things that you can come up with, you know, you got people out there that have created engines that run on water or whatever, you know, and they disappear real quick. And I don't know, man. So hopes and fears, we've got Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Somebody missed their opportunity, these greedy folks. And there's a masculine or feminine, take it as masculine energy that's having an ego death. He's being thrown into some kind of chaos because that's what he created for the world. He's in a downward spiral because the queen bee is secure, confident, and she's in her boss bitch mode. And this little nasty is not getting a ticket to wherever she's going. She's going. She and her person, her true person, are taken off. And whatever happens, happens, man. It's just going to be the way that it goes. They've lost her. And they're all out there talking. You lost her? You lost her? Yes, they lost the queen bee. They lost the queen bee, and the actress at the very top of this shit show has been discovered. God is in charge of vengeance, and he said it will be for the history. And there's been at least 6,000 years, according to this freaking curator, when they banished the queen bee, deceitfully convicting her of a crime that she did not do. She was always royal, and she was always loyal. And still, throughout centuries of torture, she's still loyal, still sharing, still caring, still loving, and it's blowing my mind. And that is why God gave the covenant to her. Because she's not out here some phony baloney villainess out there siphoning freaking rainbow covenants falsely and inviting all their devil friends to have freaking parties in their freaking golden ballrooms and stuff. So they're not getting a ticket to this queen bee's destination. She's got freedom, and, you know, she has evolved through this nastiness, and she has all that information that she can share with others and help them evolve as well. All of the subtleties and the warning signs that most people don't pick up on, because, man, she and he who have been through the ringer all this time, they know they're super sensitive, okay? So they know that the most delicate interference, they can detect it. While everybody is out there, oh, party, celebrate. They're out there, oh, ding, 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 ding. Morning. Well, so we got freedom, you evolve, you've changed. So yes, over these past lives, the past lives where they kept you, Missy, and your person here separate. These nasty jacks came in between you for a long time, and it's over. They lost you. God sees very clearly the actress that has been in the covenant that he did not give her. She's in so much trouble, she's going to suffer greatly. That's what he said. That's what I heard the curator say that he said. So while it be secondhand information, it came out of the curator's mouth, which when he talks of other people's suffering, I can guarantee it's pretty much real. So this Nine of Pentacles, you're sitting there with your hawk, you're coming into a life of luxury. Divine Masculine is here, detaching, bringing endings, the story flop, bringing closure to this little reckless sex script writer. And what does the script writer write scripts for? The crypt. He needs people in the coffin. He needs people with the medicine in them. He needs people in that state so that he can say they're already dead. I get to harvest it. That's a freaking wild. This is like a godly freaking identity theft and freaking wealth transfer freaking weird thing, man. But God ain't gonna let it go. Oh, and script. So script, right? Script, movies, actresses, and all of that for the crypt, because they need to gather the energy. They need to pull it in so that they can live. And then, what else do you have? What was that other card? Script, sure. Directions, be fearful, don't think too loud, don't dream too loud. If you dare have a big dream or if you dare to get successful, something might happen. Like that lady who planted lilacs and this big old freaking storm came through and just washed out her entire lilac garden. And at 83 years old, that woman went out in a dress and she freaking replanted that whole thing. She's like, not today, El freaking Nino. But that's what these guys do, because I'm not saying they can create storms, although they can. I'm saying sometimes they will come out and tell a lady in her elder years that she cannot have flowers. And that lady is going to stand up and say, excuse me, not today. And I'm going to take my flowers. She grew them from a seed, man. She didn't care what it took. She was going to do it at the age of 83. And that lilac garden is still there, and her story is incredible. A real queen. People think you need a crown and you need a fancy gold dress to be a freaking queen in this world. The past. So, past. So there's a detachment of what? This people, these religious people, there's a cross there. So there's a detachment. Script writers, scripture for gaining souls for the harvest, for the crypt, you dirty sinner. You know, so I think there's probably a detachment of this mentality where you're just a low-life sinner and you have to beg and plead and beg and plead and just be a good little boy, or you're going to get punished. Of this upside down community. Maybe they're being evicted from the community. These people of the past that were writing script, sure, for your life or a script about your life, these blatant lies and accusations, they're all being excommunicated, banished, just like they did this queen bee 6,000 years ago. They deceitfully convicted her and then banished her, and then proceeded to torture her lifetime after lifetime. And they were doing her as an infant, man, so that she was coming back quick. And they kept getting pissed because she kept coming back. Despite the amounts of torture that they were doing to her, she kept freaking coming back. Why? For this day. So that the freaking rainbow covenant of newly born infants cannot be violated in that way. So these stupid little kings crying their little freaking heart out can't freaking act like they have a covenant, because they don't. they were doing it to the healers, and there will be a healing for the children that were violated in the past. God said that the men will be remasculated, the children will be healed, there is going to be, the people will be given a life they don't want to run away from. They won't be walking around frightened all the time. There won't be people pushing in radio shows of self-loathing through the mind and then accusing you of being emotionally unstable. It's all a freaking show. A techno geek freaking Wi-Fi show. And it's not nice. So you're a healer. So you could be healing. There could be you're a healer. They were siphoning healing out of the essence of the children. In order to heal themselves, they were gathering these covenants so that they could continue or whatever. I don't know. I think I gotta go though. I think I have some friends coming over to do some stuff. Anyway, I hope really that this is that this brings some kind of clarity. The teachers are speaking up and bringing life and clarity to everything. There's an appreciation here. And those who've been wearing necklaces made out of your shattered emerald heart, faking like they are the spiritual identity of these people, they're uneasy. Why? Because you are the temperance angel, the caretaker of love. And these people keep violating the communication system of the organic original transmitter receiver of source. And they've been saying, accusing us that we are the programs they've been pushing in. And it's just a lie, man. God can see it now, though. So that's good. This is being laid to rest. You get to rest and recover. You were able to reformat your mind and bring clarity to this. And so with all of this knowledge about those who have opinions about love and its immensity, these people are happiness haters. And they attacked those who carry joy and immense love in them, which are who? Children. Freshly given rainbow covenant. In the secret garden. They were attacking them in the secret garden. They banished the queen bee, and then they started going after them in the secret garden. The magician. Things are falling apart for the magician. And you're protected here. You're grounded, you're protected, and you're connected. The devil's wearing a mask. The devils were there trying to inspire people. Why? What? They needed to track them in or get them to come in if they had abundance so that they could what? Contract it to the shadow by draining the rainbow covenant out of God's covenant holder, right? So rebirth. There's forgiveness here. You had been isolated while everybody was pretending. So there's forgiveness here. You've brought clarity to what's going on. The high priestess is making an offering of what she discovered while under the moon, while buried alive. Searching for the little lights, getting her nighttime wings, flying around, gaining her white robe. And now there's boundaries here, protected and strong protection. Anybody messing with the mind or anything else in this, it's just not very wise right now. People really need to start paying attention to what they got going on in their own life and just try to bring temperance to it. That would be my advice. Anyway, like I said, I think I got a friend coming because I saw a text pop up. I really do hope that you all have a wonderful day. This should be I mean, divine masculine is wiping out this community from the past who was writing script for these these people. The script they've been running on for a while, it's old, it's thousands of years old, and they've been running on this same, you were drunk, you were a bad mother, you did this and you did that, and they've been trying to accuse people of that. But it's like these, like the queen bee, like she doesn't drink, probably been decades, she's celibate, and so she's like this pure energy. And you got these nasty frauds out, these actresses have been running the same freaking script for lifetimes, and it doesn't work anymore, it's out of date. And the queen bee is shining like she never has before. They cannot keep up. They don't know the script. They're out of there. Discovered. And God's in charge of vengeance. And anybody who wants to say she does this, or talking about me or whatever, or this queen bee. Queen bee has turned the other cheek, and she has taken more knives and torturous, prolonged suffering deaths for centuries. She does not have to take any shit off of any smartass. And I'll go ahead and say it. They've been harvesting her for centuries while calling her and accusing her of being a prostitute. Y'all fucking crybabies can go fuck off. You've been wearing an Empress star, freaking queen's energy for centuries, thinking yourself such a wonderful person. It's sick, man. See you later, everybody. Have a really beautiful day. Sorry, this is a disgusting message, but it is what it is. See you on the next one.